Alright, ladies, I hope you like the good shit, because this is the good shit right here. Alright, so, there's this dwarf, right? His name is Albrecht, and he is a dwarf, and he is underwater for some reason. Everybody's underwater at the beginning, and there's no submarines, and that's really disappointing, but it's okay, because there's all these real hot water nymphs underwater with this guy. There's 3 hot water nymphs, and they're all dancing around with their tits out, and the prancing ball times with the tits ponies. And then Albrecht is like, hey girls, you want to get with me? I'm a big ugly dwarf. I'm actually a really small ugly dwarf. I'm really disgusting and I have a gold fetish. And the nymphs are like, that sounds great. Yeah, let's just get all up on your body. And it's like, no, ha! Why would we do that? You are disgusting. And then, and Albrecht, obviously, he doesn't feel very good about this. You know, he's hanging around. He feels pretty low in the spirits. He's trying to chase them all around, but his little stumpy dwarf legs are really terrible underwater. He can't swim. He's a fucking dwarf. And so suddenly, but then this gold shit appears. Like, there's this gold that's, like, pulsating, glowing on top of the mountain. And this is the Rhine gold. It is called the Rhine gold because it is gold that is in the Rhine. And I don't know what's so special about it, except that apparently, if you forswear all love, you can forge this ring into a ring that will get you all of the wealth in the entire goddamn universe. Which is pretty sweet. And so the water nymphs are, you know, prancing around, still got their tits out, talking about this, talking about how great it is, and saying, you know, but you can't get it because you need to forswear all love. And Albrecht is down there, you know, with his dick out still, and he's like, you know what? Fuck love. I can have sex with the gold. And then he runs up, he just one-mans it up the hill, like, grabs the gold, runs back down to Nibelung, which is where all the dwarves live. And all the water nymphs are like, shit! How many people were actually going to be willing to forswear all love to get the fucking gold? And there was the one guy, and we fucked it up. We fucked it up. You fucked it up, water nymphs. This is why you don't have water nymphs guard your fucking gold. You don't have hot chicks guard your booty. You have other people guard the booty of the fucking hot chicks. That's how it works. But anyway, they fucked up. So meanwhile, cut to the Norse gods. Now in the ring cycle, all of the Norse gods, they're the Norse gods, but they're named really weird things. And I'm just going to use the regular Norse god names because Germans are terrible at naming things. So, Odin is up on top of this mountain, and he's not, like, I thought originally that he was banging his wife, Frigga, but actually they're just sleeping, and then he's sleeping and he's having a dream, and Frigga is really pissed off because Odin sold her sister for a wall. He wanted to get this wall built, right? But he didn't have a lot of money. He was kind of cash poor. So he hired Loki to make the deal for him. And Loki is not a good person to hire to make your deals for you. He'll just promise whatever. So Odin calls up Loki and he's like, Loki, what the fuck did you promise? And Loki's like, I promised them Freya. That's the only thing that they would accept. And I think that you remember this, and I think you're just pretending that you don't remember this so you can blame it all on me like you usually do. And at that point, the giants all show up. There's the 2 giants. There's Fastel and Fafnir, who are the contractors that they hire to do this job, and now they don't want to pay. And they show up and they're like, hey, where's Freya at? And then Thor and Freyr, who are Freya's brothers, show up, and they're like, hey, you know what you're not going to get? Freya. And Odin's like, whoa, shit, guys, I don't remember making any kind of deal at all. I don't remember that. And the giants are like, no, dude, you totally fucking made a deal. You made a deal with us, and fuck you. And Odin's like, no. I remember now. I remember making the deal. I remember making the deal as a joke. It was a joke. It was a really funny joke. And the giants are like, bitch, that was not a funny joke. You know what's funny? How we're going to take your fucking wife's sister and we're going to bang her all night long. And that's not so much funny as it is really sexy and great. So, they pick up Freya and they start taking her away. And Loki's like, wait. I'm solving this problem like I usually do, because I cause most of the problems, so the burden falls on me. I've been going around for like the last year while you've been building the wall, looking for anything that you guys might accept in lieu of this hot chick. And I found one thing, and that one thing is the Rhine gold. The Rhine gold, which is the gold that is in the Rhine that you can forge into the ring that gives you all the wealth in the world. So, it actually recently got stolen by a dwarf, I found out. But we could totally get that for you, and we'll fucking trade it to you for Freya. And Odin's like, what? Wait, no, that sounds like a thing that I want. I want that. I want that ring. I want it. Hey. And Loki's like, dude, shh. And the giants are like, that sounds great. We'll totally do that. So, but in the meantime, we're going to bang Freya. So they take Freya, and then Loki and Odin are back on the mountaintop, and Odin's like, what the fuck did you get me into, man? And Loki's like, pretty much the same shit that I always get you into, more or less. So then they teleport down to Nibelung, where all the dwarves are at, and they go down there, and they run up on Albrecht, and Albrecht is like, hey guys, what the fuck are you doing in my kingdom? And Odin and Loki are like, well, we heard that you were this super legit guy with all this money and shit, and we wanted to know what that was all about. And Albrecht was like, oh, look, well, check this out. Look at how much fucking money I got. I got piles of money. Look at all these dwarves that I've enslaved who are piling up all this gold. Look at this. I could dive into this Scrooge McDuck status, dick first, and not stop fucking gold for days. And I also got this hat. I got these dwarves to make me this hat that lets me transform into anything I want and also turn invisible and whatever. And Loki's like, wow, that sounds incredible. That sounds so incredible, I don't think that I credible it. I don't believe it. I don't think that it's real. And Albrecht is like, fuck, let me give you a free introduction to how great I am. So he turns into a dragon using the helm. He's like, and then he turns back into a dude. And he's like, well, see, you believe me now? And Loki's like, well, I mean, anybody can turn into a dragon, but it takes a really legit motherfucker to turn into a tiny frog. And Albrecht is like, oh, you think I can't turn into a tiny frog? Well, check this out. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. And Odin's like, Loki, quick, put your foot on his throat. Put your foot on his throat. Stomp his throat. So Loki starts stomping his throat, and then they like chain him up, and they take him up on top of this mountain. They're like, dude, we got you chained up, got you on top of a mountain. You got to give us all your treasure now. That's the rules. And Albrecht's like, fuck, balls, fuck. But he like whistles, and all the dwarves come up and bring up all the treasure, and they pile it all up. And then they're like, well, you gotta give us that helmet too. And he's like, fuck, okay, here's the helmet. And he's like saying to himself, as long as they don't take the ring, I'm super sad. I can just get all that shit back. And then they're like, oh, we also need your ring. And he's like, fuck, what? Fuck, come on. And they're like, no, we're taking that. We take the ring. So they take the ring, and they put it on the pile, and then they let him go. And he's like, all right, as my first act as a free man, I just want to say, fuck all y'all, and I'm going to put a curse on that ring so that whoever has it gets hated by everybody else, and they all get killed, and everybody's sad, and nobody gets happy from that ring, ever. And then he leaves. And they're like, fuck, that's depressing. But then, like, right at that moment, the giants show up, and they're like, hey, you see you got a big pile of treasure. We got a big pile of your sexy wife's sister. Want to make a trade? And Odin's like, yeah, I think that was the idea. And the giants are like, okay, here's how we need to do this. So we will give you Freya if you can pile up enough treasure to hide her from our sight. Which really doesn't say anything good about how fat Freya is. But anyway, they start piling up the treasure, and they're piling it up, and the giants are like, oh no, there's a little crack here, I can see through there. Oh, there's a little crack right there. Oh, it's not tall enough. You gotta put the helmet on it. So they put the helmet on it. And I'm like, okay, everything's good. There's a big pile of treasure. That's great. You can take the treasure. And one of the giants, Fastolde Fafnir, I don't remember which one. It doesn't really matter. Like, he looks at it and he's like, oh, no, wait, there's this one crack. I can see her beautiful, beautiful, sexy eye socket. That it seems like you just need, like, one little gold ring to fill that up. Just a gold ring. Maybe like that gold ring that you're wearing on your finger right now. And Odin's like, fuck! What? Fuck! Come on! No! This is my ring! That's mine! I want that! And they're like, well, I mean, alright, I guess we could just walk away with Freya. And Thor and Freyr have arrived in the meantime, and they're like, fuck no, you're not taking that away, we're gonna murder you with all our murder weapons! And then all of a sudden, this huge goddess pops out of the earth, some kind of like ancient wisdom chick or something, and she's like, Odin, you better give away that ring! And Odin's like, fuck! Fine! And he gives away the ring. And the giants go away, and they leave Freya. They go away with all the treasure and shit. And immediately, one of them picks a fight with the other one over the ring, and then he kills him, and then he gets all the other stuff, and he runs away like... Ruff, 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 ruff. And everyone's watching that. All the gods are watching that. That happened literally like 2 minutes after they made the deal. And they're like, wow. Wow. That happened fast. Like, good job giving away the ring, Odin. And Odin's like, shit, I guess I kind of dodged a bullet there, huh? And then Thor conjures a cloud of black lightning, and it turns into a rainbow bridge that leads them back to the castle. So they're walking back to the castle, and they hear all of the water nymphs bitching about how they lost the ring and they really want it back. And Odin's like, well, I guess you should have thought about that before you teased the man's cock. And the rest is a story for another time.